Hey guys, welcome back to the Frozen Forum podcast. Today, it's just me. There's no Alex. We're doing a new segment here. We're going to start doing this where we bring active hockey players, retired hockey players, other people within the hockey space, just a whole slew of guests for you guys. And we're going to be posting new episodes sometimes twice a week. And that is what will happen this week. So without further ado, we have our first guest on the Frozen Forum pod. He played minor hockey in the GTA, and then he played junior hockey in Niagara, then going to the Gatineau Olympiques in the Q, and now plays in the OUA at Guelph University. It's with great honor that for our first guest, we have Jonah De Simone. Jonah, how are you?
I'm honored. I'm honored to be the first guest. Avid supporter of the Frozen Forum podcast. It's happy to be here. Happy to support you guys. Yeah, it's good.
Right from day one. Thank
There
you. I
you go.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm always liking and
So
commenting.
I see that. We appreciate that as well. All right, man. Well, I guess we'll just get right into it. So you played minor hockey through the GTA, so you want to tell us a little bit about that? Where you played? I know you played on a few teams.
Yeah, I'm from Richmond Hill, so I guess things have changed in the GTA now. But back when I was playing, I was allowed to play in the GTHL. So I grew up kind of playing for a few different teams, and then as soon as the GTHL started, I played for the North York Rangers for a number of years, and then my draft year, OHL draft year, I played for the Mississauga Reps. I was with a few good players there. Owen Power, probably the best one, and our good buddy Jakey Birdie was also my line mate over there. No, it was I got the chance to play against a lot of good players who kind of moved on, and now I get to collect their rookie cards, their young guns.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
You open them up in the Tim Hortons packs and everything now.
Yeah, yeah, the Tim Hortons, the upper decks.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know you. I didn't know you know Jake before the Ice Dogs too. Thought you met
Yeah,
him through
yeah.
there.
Jake and I played. We were line mates our whole draft year, and then we went like back to back in the draft. I went 70, he went 72, and then we moved in together. So it was pretty. That was a crazy experience.
That's sweet. That's sweet. So yeah, going into that draft there, were you? Well, where'd you get drafted to?
Yeah, got drafted to Niagara, 70th overall. That's where we met when I went to high school in Governor Simcoe Secondary School. Shout out.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. That's where we met each other.
yeah. What class did we have together? I'm trying to think now.
I know we had science with Scordino.
Yeah, yeah. Was it science? Yeah, it would have been
It was,
science.
I think it was like bio or something.
Yeah, I just remember like just trying to make friends, and you're always a nice guy. You did track too. I did track.
Yeah, yeah,
Senior smile around the.
yeah. I think we had a few classes there, here and there.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, obviously, like moving from home, living there your whole life, playing hockey there, moving to Niagara. How was that experience? How was your billet family? Did you have one?
Yeah, yeah. No, I wasn't living in Richmond Hill when I was playing in Niagara. Definitely needed a billet. um, yeah, dude. Honestly, I moved. I was like 16 years old. Um, Moving away from home was not an experience everyone gets to have. So it was pretty cool, honestly. Definitely tough. Like I found out my billet like a week before I was moving there. Then with Jake. For those who don't know, Jakey Birdie, one of my closest friends to this day, moved in together. He kind of had a little bit of a difficult situation. Ended up having to move out, which happens from time to time. But we moved into a new billet, and uh, there are people who I keep in touch with to this day. We play in Guelph. We're lucky enough to play in the Steel Blade Classic against the Brock Badgers. That's in the Meridian Center, so it's a little throwback for me, and they always come to that game. And this year I wasn't playing in that game, but I sat with them the whole time, and they supported me, and it was yeah, awesome billets.
That's pretty sweet. How long did you stay with them there in Niagara?
Well, I was there. I think we moved in like November. I want to say. So we moved there in November, and then I was there the rest of my first year, entire second year, third year was a write-off because of COVID. Back for my fourth year there for the start, and then I obviously ended up getting released and went to Gatineau, which was also a great experience out there too, and had great billets out there as well.
But during your time in Niagara, I know you played with a few guys who are now in the show. Akil Thomas is one of them. Phil Tomasino. There's some Jason Robertson as well.
J Rob,
What was it like playing with those guys?
dude, honestly, it was unreal. It's so cool. Like, I mean, I guess I didn't realize the success that like, especially a guy like Jason Robertson would move on to have, even though he was nasty on our team. I think he won like most outstanding player that year in the CHL. Like, I didn't realize he was going to be as successful as he was. I remember like when I was practicing, you're kind of like, I was 16, so I was kind of like starry eyed a little bit, like, wanting to soak it all in. I remember I was doing a battle drill against another guy who played in the NHL, Jack Stanika. I don't know if you remember him.
Yep, yep.
And I was like, dude, like, this is like a little bit not naive, but like it was just young and like I don't know. I was like, God, dude, like I love it when you battle hard with me, man. Like it makes me better. But like that was a good attitude to have because now I appreciate like being able to play with those guys. And it's funny, like it's a little bit of an inside joke. J Rob, like I tell people that I played with J Rob and they don't believe me. Like I pull up my phone, I'm like, dude, he still follows me. That's my claim to fame now. He still follows me. But I'm like, dude, I'm counting the days that when I post a story or make a post, I'm like, he's bound to unfollow me one day. I'm like, like I played with him and like I got along well with him and whatever. But I'm like, one day he's gonna be like, who is this guy? Maybe, hopefully
Just
not.
gotta flex. Just
But
gotta flex that blue check mark with all the
exactly,
followers.
bro. I'm like, it's J Rob, okay. And then yeah, Phil and Akil, I was super like Phil. I saw every day at Simcoe. Like we were in high school together, so I saw him every day, and we'd go from the rink to like that was a tough schedule. Actually, going from school to the rink, it was like wake up, go to school like 3 or 4 classes, and then we'd have to kind of leave early at like 1 o'clock to catch like a 1:30 practice. So I did that with Phil all my first year. And then Akil would drive Jake and I to and from the rink for games and stuff like that. So Akil's a guy I actually keep in touch with. Like I see him in the summers and stuff like that. I was actually in Guelph over the summer, and his girlfriend's from Guelph. So I was at the bar, and Akil pulls up. I'm like, dude, what's going on? And this was right after he got his new contract this summer. So he got me a drink and we caught up a little bit. I was over the moon. I was so fired up. I was really excited to see him and then really happy to see how well he's doing now. I think he's like pretty full time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, I've seen him play like the last. I think he's played most of the games this season. So yeah, he's doing well.
yeah. So to see guys like that, like just really nice guys who treated everyone well. He was a captain my second year before he got traded to Peterborough and scored the World Junior game-winning goal. It was pretty nasty. He was a great guy. So playing with guys like that was definitely an awesome experience. And this is a funny story actually.
Okay.
I went to a bar in Tampa, Florida, a couple years ago, and I was talking to some random guy, and he's like, "Dude, I'm from Boston." And at the time, Jack Stanika was playing for Boston, and I was like, "Dude, like I played with Jack Stanika." He's like, "Oh no way! Like I don't believe you." And I pulled out my Snapchat and FaceTimed him at the bar, and like, dude, this guy's gonna like. I was being like the typical the typical like back in my day guy. Like I used to be a dude, but I was having a good time. And Studs was a really good guy, and he thought it was hilarious. But I actually just thought that was pretty funny.
That's hilarious, bro. I would do the exact same thing if I knew people like that. 100%.
Yeah, it's like it is what it is. Like, but like yeah, sometimes I'll catch myself seeing like, oh, like does this guy still follow me? Like I can't remember if I mentioned, but I played with Owen Power too in my minor midget year, and like my buddy's a Buffalo fan, so I would like when he got drafted, I was teasing him. I'm like, oh, dude, I'll text him and ask him to give you a shout out.
That's sweet, man. That's sweet.
But
Yeah, just like
Funny
Still
memories.
on your time in Niagara? What'd
Yeah,
you say?
yeah. Go ahead. No, I was just saying it's just funny memories.
Yeah, 100%. Over that time in Niagara, though, did you get any nicknames? Because I know there were a few there with the guys in Niagara. Did you have any, or even in minor?
Honestly, dude, in minor hockey, like, I never had a nickname. Like, never. And when I went to Niagara, I'm like, I'm playing junior. Like, I need a nickname. And I was talking with this social media girl. I'm like, hey, like, I need a nickname. Like, we got to do something here. And she actually like made like a well, she didn't make. She posted a story like, what should Jonah's nickname be? And they were all terrible. Like, there was nothing. Um, and like, I can't even remember. Like, couldn't go by Jonesy. Like, Jonesy's one that I like, but no one really calls me that because we had Ben Jones, who's our captain, and
Right, right.
like Dees. Dees was my nickname there, but I'm not a huge fan of Dees. No one calls me that anymore. And then Jake and I actually, since we were like kind of like, we were together all the time, people called us Shaggy and Scooby because Jake was Scooby. So then naturally I was Shaggy because Scooby came from Uberti. So that was a little bit of our nickname.
Oh, I see. The duo nickname. Couldn't get it done.
Yeah, kind of like
I see.
Sonic and Knuckles from the Lions running back tandem,
Ah, yeah, yeah.
Montgomery and Gibbs, Sonic and Knuckles.
Yeah, 100%. Gotta have each other.
There you go.
Dude, those lines this year are actually nuts.
Yeah, dude, I'm a Lions fan. Hold on. Get my jersey.
You are? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they're doing far better than my Dolphins.
You're a Dolphins fan?
Yeah, man.
Oh no. Yeah,
Yeah,
look at
it's tough. Oh,
that. Gibbs.
well, that's nice.
And then I got my almond raw.
Have you ever seen the Receiver series on Netflix?
Yeah, dude, I
Yeah,
watched that with my roommates. We were watching that this at the start of this year. Amon
nice,
Ra's yeah,
nice.
he's crazy. Amon Ra's is sick. He's a sicko.
He's insane. Yeah,
But
and his dad was like a two-time Mr. Olympia or
yeah,
something.
yeah, it's unreal. It's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. So I gotta ask you too. I know I had my superstitions in sports, playing soccer and playing hockey. Did you have anything that you'd have to do before game, during the game? Any superstitions?
In Niagara specifically,
No, just throughout your time playing hockey.
honestly it changes. Like I have routines. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to think of a good one in Niagara. When I was in Niagara, I would always like go. So it was kind of weird. Like our bench was under the stands, and then where we come out,
Yeah, yeah.
where we go out for warm ups and right through the bench. I would always like after our dryland warm up upstairs in the concourse, I would go down and I would like down from the stands to the bench. I take cold showers and cold baths before games. I do that. That's what I do
Okay.
now. I do cold showers, and then I always have like the same music routine. Like, if I have a good stretch, I'm always listening to the same music. And if I don't, then I change up the music. Yeah,
That's about what I do too. But there's
yeah.
nothing crazy like a jock from minor bantam, like Crosby.
Well, technically, honestly, like I do use the same like jock from minor midget, maybe even earlier. But like I've got like four or five of them, so I've cycled through them. You know what I mean? Like I use one or the other. Nothing crazy yet. Like it's a good question. Hold on, let me. What did you have something crazy?
Nothing crazy. Like before the game, before opening face-off, if I was out there, I'd have to skate to the goalie, give him a hug, go back, slap my ice on the stick two times, and then I was ready.
There you go. Um, when I like during warm ups now, I like to mess with the people on the bench. So I have like the Gatorade bottle or the BioSteel bottle, the Gatorade bottle, and I'll like squirt, and I'll always try and get like as close to their feet as possible. We have like three trainers, and I'll always like squirt in between them, and just to annoy them. So that's part of my routine now that I enjoy. In Gatineau, I used to this was like during on ice warm up. I used to I think I would like chew gum, and then I would get the social media guy on the bench, and like we'd like, I don't know, dap up, and then he'd get the garbage for me to spit out my gum halfway through warm up. That's not crazy, but yeah. I'd say the ice bath before the game was the craziest one, especially in Gatineau. We had one like almost like a jacuzzi version of like a cold bath. So I'd get to the rink, and then I'd do like a cold tub, and then I would go. Oh, this is funny. I would listen to the Any Given Sunday speech.
Okay.
I would listen to the Any Given Sunday speech, and then like at a certain point, I would go my whole body under for like 5 seconds. I would get out and like go do my normal routine. I guess that's the craziest. Now I just like
Is that
I'll
just to like?
shower before I leave. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, is that just to like get you like awake? Because that seems counterintuitive.
Honestly, it's just like I don't really know. It just fires me up. It just fires. It's like gets me
Okay.
going a little bit. Like I don't know if it's good for your legs. Like maybe not. But like I did it one day because I think we played the night before, and I'm like, I need to feel good, and I was like, whatever, I'll try and cold. Actually, no, I've been doing that since minor midget, but then I stopped in Niagara, and then I picked it back up in Gatineau. But yeah, I guess that's the craziest one. But I've definitely
Okay.
I've got tons.
That's still good. That's still good. I'm sure some
Yeah,
of the other guys on the teams, some of the guys on the other teams, like had some pretty crazy ones.
yeah. I remember Kirill Maximov used to like lace his legs up with the icy hot, like just like you would have like black glove, and you would go like all over. I'm like, dude, my legs would be on fire. Like that's a crazy rush in there.
That's
I
nuts. He needs a sponsor.
yeah, I can't think of anything else specific from like from other guys. That was probably like the craziest one. Like, there's a few guys who do stuff. Excuse me, who do stuff like that.
Aside from superstitions, though, some of the other guys. Did you have like a funniest guy that you played with, either through junior or minor hockey? Like, who
Yeah.
was the funniest guy? Locker room guy, on ice, just everything.
Well, Jake's definitely up there. Jake Uberi's definitely up there. Like, he's just so sneaky funny. Like, you still follow him on Instagram?
I don't.
He just posts like the most random. He's just the most random guy. Like, he'll post like the most random stuff. Sorry. Um. Okay, sneaky funny was Jake because he just like kind of has like shit he'll do, and you're just like you're so stupid, but it's like funny. Um. Guy I'm playing with now, Ian Ferguson, he's hilarious. He's a guy from Dallas, and he'll just whip out like just some ridiculous one liner, and you're like, dude, where did you come up with that? I'm trying to think. And then in Gatineau, like I was playing with some French guys, so like they're just different. Like they're not even. I remember. Oh, I used to sit beside this kid named Antonin Varel. He's nasty. He was like fourth overall to the Q, and we used to call him like I can't remember. He was like the peanut butter monster, the Nutella monster, something like that. He just loved Nutella, and he wasn't even trying to be funny. But you're like, this kid is hilarious. Like he just, I can't remember. I can't remember exactly what it was, but there's like this kid like loaded up his. Oh, cheese! He was a cheese monster. That's what he was, the cheese monster. He just loved cheese. Oh, cause you know why? Because we would go. This is hilarious. I'm just remembering this. We would go to when I was in Gatineau. Gatineau's, if you don't know, Gatineau's right across the river from Ottawa, so it was great for me. Because being an Ontario guy, I got to go to Ontario like all the time. We would go to Chipotle with the boys, and one time we went with Vero, and this guy loaded his burrito up with cheese, like just loaded it up. And it wasn't the cheese monster, it was the cheese gremlin. Because he's just a little like, he's just a little like, oh man, if you're clipping this, you can post a picture of him, but he just looks like a little cheese gremlin. Like it was just hilarious. I guess he's not the funny guy. But it's a funny story. It's just the cheese gremlin, and his voice too. He kind of talk like this, like he's a cheese gremlin. Yeah, I forgot about that.
That's kind of what I imagine him to sound like a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. My name is Antonin Barreau, and I like cheese. That was him. Sorry if you see this, Tony, but it was pretty funny.
That was funny. I remember one guy from Simcoe. His name was Cameron Snow.
Yeah, Snowy. Yeah, that Snowy's
Yeah, I could.
Snowy's not funny. He's just ridiculous. So me and Jake are still buddies with him to this day, and like that guy is just an enigma. Like he's a mystery. Like we try and meet up with each other at least like once or twice a year. Once during the summer, once for Christmas. And we can never get a hold. We'll go months without hearing from the guy, and then like one day he'll just text us like all day. You in our kinesiology class?
No, I wasn't in that class. He was in our bio though. I remember some of the.
Yeah,
He
the
would just
bio.
spit
Yeah.
random stuff out. Yeah, yeah. He would just say random stuff to Squirt. And I was like, "What is this guy talking about right now?"
It wasn't just acts. He doesn't think. He just does stuff. And like he just like that guy's in the like he's not a funny guy. He's just stupid. But I love him. I love him all the same. I'll send him memes because he's not the tallest guy. I don't know if you ever get the memes where it's like me when I have to send my little friend off to Santa because he's Santa's elf or something like that. I'll always send those to him. Anytime I get it. Anytime I see it, I send it to him. And then he chirps me for my big nose, so we get even.
But I'm sure that's all he's got on you.
Yeah, that's all he's got.
Just chirps the beak.
Yeah, it's all right. I'll live with it.
Okay, so moving on from Niagara though. So after Niagara, you get released you get released, and
Yeah,
then how does the transition happen to Gatineau?
yeah. That story was pretty crazy, honestly. It's not one I've really told. It was tough for me because I was in Niagara, kind of going into my fourth year, 19-year-old year, and I love Niagara. I was like, so excited to be back. I was back from COVID, and I'd felt good from my off-season training. Like I'd been training for a year and a half since COVID started. Coming in like expecting to have a big role on the team. And then like I didn't play the first couple exhibition games, and it was like kind of normal because I'm like, oh, like I'm a 19-year-old guy, whatever. Like they don't need to see me play. And then funny enough, I played in Guelph, and I had a great game. I had like 2 points and an assist. So yeah, I had a great game in Guelph. I think it was like 2 goals and an assist or something like that. I was playing with Snowy. But we lost the game, and I was like super bummed. And I go to the coach. I'm like, hey, like I'll be better next time. Like, sorry, whatever. Not thinking much of it. And then I call like I think my agent texted me, but I didn't see it. Jake comes down the hall in Guelph. It's a long hall actually, and he goes, "Dude, your parents are here to see you." And I didn't know they were at the game. And I'm like. I'm like, hey, like, great to see you. And they're like, get in the car. Like, we have to tell you something. And I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? At this point, I'm worried about, like, my sisters or, her, like, family, some family issue. Wasn't. And they go, hey, like, did your coach say anything to you about getting cut? Like, they're releasing you. You're on waivers. I was like, what? I'm on waivers? Like, what are you talking about? They're like, yeah. Like, my agent had called them during the game and was like, does Jonah know he's on waivers? And so that was news. So I ended up texting my coach like, hey, I'm dealing with some family stuff. Like, can I drive back to the rink with my parents? Because like at this point in my head, like I'm getting cut. I go back to the rink and I see the coach, and I'm like, hey, like, how come no one told me like I'm getting released? He looks at me and goes, what? I have no idea. And he's like, wide open face. I was like, oh, it's weird. And he's like, I'm gonna talk to the GM and like we'll figure it out tomorrow. I'm like, oh, okay. Like I'm not getting cut. Like I don't know what my agent's on about. Talk to my agent the next day. He's like, no, you're on waivers. Like they're releasing you. And then I talked to the GM and he's like, oh, we put everyone on waivers. Like we're just seeing what's out there for you. Like right now you're here. Like we want you here. And then I was like, oh, okay. I go through the next couple weeks and I'm not playing on the 4th line, like 5th line actually. And I'm like, what is going on? Clearly something was up at that point. Like at this point, I'm not believing that like, because in my head, I didn't deserve to be on the fifth line. Like I had been through that already. I was 19 years old. So I knew something was up. They played me against Hamilton, who, for those who don't know, that season, I think it was 21-22, I want to say. 22-20, yeah, 21-22
Yeah, that would have
season.
been 20.
Hamilton won the OHL that year. And Niagara, I think, came last or like something close to it. So I stepped in and I was like a -2 in both games, like just not good. In fact, it was a home and home. It was at home against Hamilton and then away against Hamilton. Just didn't play well. And then, and then the next week, my agent called me and was like, "Hey, releasing you. We found a spot for you in Gatineau." And this was maybe on a Thursday or a Wednesday. It's like, "We found a spot for you in Gatineau. They want you there like Sunday." And then I'm like, "What?" I was like, "What? Okay." He was like, "But we need to know soon." And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I do not want to move to Quebec. I'm like, I do not want to go to Quebec. And in my head, I don't know where Gatineau is. I'm like, dude, I'm going to be up in, if you know where Baie-Comeau is, that's where I'm picturing where I'm going to be, which is like, Baie-Comeau is like the northeast most team in Quebec. I was like, dude, like I really don't want to do this. And then going back to my billets in Niagara, I was there and I had a billet dad and a billet mom, and they're both retired and great people, Dave and Trina. I remember I was sitting at the table like looking at Gatineau, and it was like a great, like they had a brand new arena at the time, and I was looking at interviews from like the guys in Gatineau, and I can't remember exactly what he said, but my billet dad, he kind of looked at me, he's like, "Jonah, like go to Gatineau." And that was kind of all I needed to convince me. I was like, you know what, like, and obviously after some conversations with my parents and my agent, but after that I was like, all right, I'm going to Gatineau. And then I went to the rink. I think Niagara was playing like that night. It was, I can't remember, it was a Thursday or Friday. Go to the rink like a little bit before report time, because they were playing a road game, and I told the coach, it's like, "Hey, I've got an opportunity in Gatineau." And then I remember, like, you know, obviously you feel bad cutting a guy, and he pulled me into his office and we had a brief conversation, and the coach was like, "You know, he goes, I'd hire you." I was like, "All right, thanks, but you know, I'm a hockey player." He goes, "I'd hire you to work for me," and the boys trip me about it to this day. But ended up leaving and went home for the weekend, and then I went to Gatineau. I think it was right after Halloween. So I was there from like the beginning of November and the season went longer that year. So it was like
Okay.
to the end of May, mid to end May.
This is the one.
One season in Gatineau, and then I played
Right.
in the OJ for a year, but that's a bit less exciting. But yeah, when I moved to Gatineau, I I had like, I think it was like I moved on a Monday and they didn't practice, and then I practiced Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. They had like a game Thursday, and they're like, "Oh, we're not going to throw you in right away." And then I played the Friday or the next game, and it was like against the same team. And I remember I showed up to the rink, and like they had me like first or second line. And this is like, imagine going from like bottom of the barrel, like you just got cut, to like you're going your second line. They had me on like the first or second power play. I'm like, this is perfect. I'm like, they're just loading me up with all their systems, and like, and I was so nervous. And I
Okay.
went out and I scored my first shift, and that was a pretty special moment. Like literally first shift, um, and like just settled in from there. And I loved my time in Gatineau. Like that was probably one of my favorite years of playing hockey. Just a great group of guys. Like I had met like the guys who were from Ontario. I really got along with, and well, the English guys. There's a couple from Ontario, and then a few from out east. And then the French guys were amazing as well. Like just really got along well with everyone. and it was good hockey, and it was just a beautiful rink too. So
100%. I mean, I could
yeah,
imagine
loved it
like
there.
a lot of pressure. So like, yeah, scoring that first shift sets that tone. That's good. Good for you,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
The one thing we know
yeah.
in the
It was
NHL,
good. Yeah.
the Montreal passionate fans in the league. So do you think that the Gatineau fans were a little bit more passionate, a little bit more loud there than in Niagara?
That's a good question. I'll say this: I wasn't able to experience the full extent because I was there during like the tail end of COVID, so there were like tiny restrictions. But the fans in Quebec, like as a whole, are just like they're different than OHL fans. Like because all you have in Quebec are the Habs, right? So it's like everyone else just loves the Q, and like the Q gets reported on RDS, like our TSN, like it's like a big deal there. And the fans in Gatineau are amazing, but the year I was in Niagara was like a special year because we were like top 3 in CHL rankings. So like we packed the barn like every night, like every game. So that playoff run was special. But I will say when we made the playoffs in Gatineau, that was a better atmosphere than in Niagara. But as a consistent basis, and keeping in mind that this was with COVID restrictions, consistently in the regular season, it was a bit better in Niagara. But there was the playoffs in Quebec were different for
Yeah,
sure.
no, I could
Like
imagine. I remember
that
that
was
Niagara
special.
year. Dog tickets for $2 a piece. Yeah, every game they would sell them for $2 a
Yeah, I
piece. I
remember
was
that.
going. I was going with all my friends. Times on the ice, like I know that guy,
Yeah,
and then showing you my Clash of Clans account because we would rip it in class sometimes.
yeah. Oh yeah, Clash.
Do a little bit,
You
yeah.
still
I think I'm
playing
like Town
Clash?
Hall,
I still
Town
rep.
Hall 12 now.
Yeah, yeah. I remember
Yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I must have acknowledged you, right? I love doing that. I would have a great
Yeah,
time
that was
acknowledging
it was a lot
people
of
on the
fun.
ice. Yeah.
Had a pretty bad injury in Gatineau, isn't that right?
Yeah, yeah. I had a pretty serious concussion. Feeling great, like I was, on a new team and whatever. And then we were playing like a top team that year, Charlottetown. Puck gets dumped into the corner, um, on the forecheck, and I'm the first guy to the puck, and I get the puck like kind of at the goal line, and I kind of like stop up because usually like the D will like guide you into the boards. I stopped up like maybe a bit too hard, but the guy just threw me into the boards, and I went head first. Um, yeah, and it was I was concussed, and it's funny now, thankfully looking back, because I'm okay. My mom was up in the stands, like in that corner, and she was terrified. I remember I get knocked down, and like the first thing I said was, "Do we have a power play?" to my trainer, and I didn't get knocked out or anything, but like I was didn't feel good. Um, and then I asked my trainer, I asked her if we had a power play, and I go, "I got deja vu," and she said, "Yeah, you're not playing. You're not going back to play." But thankfully that yeah, I recovered from that and I was back. The season got delayed a little bit coming back from COVID after Christmas, so I was 100% to go in January. But yeah, that was.
But then,
It's funny now looking back, but I mean I find the video funny. Like I just got
dude,
really
that could have been
tossed
so
in the
bad. Your
boards.
neck could have been.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. When I knew I was concussed was, and I was in the shower and I had tape on my elbow at the time, or I can't remember. I think it was my elbow. And I was in the shower and I was like spraying because they have like spray that helps you take off tape. So I was spraying this and I'm like, this is not coming off. Like if anything, it's getting stickier. And I thought like maybe it was the combination of the water and the spray. And I'm like spraying. I'm like, this is really not coming off. And then I get out of the shower and like finally just tore it off myself. Get out of the shower and I'm looking at the bottle, and it was the glue that I was spraying. So I just kept spraying glue on my. And I was like, okay, yeah, maybe it's a good thing that I'm not playing. I'm gonna tell you a story because you're no. I guess you didn't do your research, but you're talking to a top ever CHL goal scorer. My goal in the playoffs, I scored a goal, batted the puck out of the air, and it was number like 12 or 13 on CHL
Really?
all-time goals in TSN.
I saw the clip
I
before
don't know if
that,
you
like
knew.
before we started this
Yeah,
episode. I didn't know that was
yeah,
top three.
yeah. No, it was. I think it was like 13th or something like that in the top 50 on TSN. And like I would always have people text me like, "Dude, I saw you on TSN today." I'm like, yeah, I'm nasty. No. uh, honestly, it wasn't even that good of a goal. Like it was. Like it was just like I batted it out, like I shot it from the slot and batted it out of the air. But the reason why it was a big deal was because that was our game one of the playoffs, of the second round of the playoffs, and it was a back and forth game. So it was against this was against Shawinigan, who ended up winning the league that year, and it was like 5-4, and like we were down like 5-3, or we were down like 4-3. Scored, they scored, we scored, and at this point I think it was like 5-4 or something like that, and my line had just scored. It was like kind of three consecutive goals from our team to put us like back. And this was, yeah, I scored this goal, batted out of the air. This was the game tying goal, game one of the playoffs. And I was just fired up. Like I just freaked out. Like I was like, yeah. Honestly, that's one of my favorite hockey memories. That was actually a really special moment. The
Dude,
crowd
yeah, I
was
mean,
just
in the clip I watched, the crowd
fired
was
up.
going crazy.
Yeah, that was a huge goal.
That's
That's probably
awesome,
the
man.
biggest goal of my
That
career.
was incredible.
Thought
Then
I
I'll
would
put
share.
that in the clip here too.
You can't like it's hard to find the recording. Um, but yeah, like it. I don't know if you'll find it, but
I
it did
swear.
happen. I
Yeah, yeah,
swear.
okay. 13. No, that's good though. That's good. So then
Yeah,
you play in Markham
yeah,
for another year.
yeah. I played in Markham in the OJ. Like that was honestly, I just wanted to live at home for the year. Like kind of reevaluate. Because I had the chance to play in Gatineau, but I didn't. I wasn't really interested in being like the fourth because I was an overager. So I didn't really want to like. I didn't want to go through something similar with what I went through in Niagara, where you're kind of on the cusp of like being on the team and not. So I was like, you know what, I'll go home, play in Markham, kind of reevaluate what I want from my career. And I ended up at a certain point, after the season in Markham, I was done playing hockey. I was like, I'm gonna go to school. I focused on going to school. Applied to like Queens, Laurier Business. I really want to go to Queens, and then my second option was Laurier Business. Get into Queens Commerce. I got an alternate offer from Laurier for the economics program, and I'm like, I don't really want to do economics. I wanted the business, and then I had applied to Guelph like kind of on a whim. Like my mom convinced me. You should apply to Guelph, and I was like, all right, like whatever. I'd never been to the campus, never even like thought about playing for the team. And I ended up choosing Guelph because it was between Guelph or U Ottawa's business, and I had visited Snowy actually, who goes to U Ottawa. I was like, I don't really like Ottawa that much. Chose Guelph for school. I just so happened that the team had just hired a brand new coach around the time that I had accepted my offer to Guelph in June. So I reached out to the school, seeing if they wanted, like if they were looking for any players. And like the day he got hired, he emailed me. He was like, "Yeah, please, like call me. We'd love to have you." Called me, and I thought like I was gonna have to plead my case, like, "Hey man, like I know I can play at this level." Like, and he called me. He's like, "Yeah, like we need, like, do you want to play?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like, is it that easy? Like, yeah. And honestly, that was one of the best decisions I've ever made to play for the team. I love it in Guelph. Yeah, I got lucky. Like I played a lot my first year in Guelph too. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, and
100%. Guelph's
it's
a
been
fun
awesome.
university town too. I go to school in Waterloo, and sometimes we go out there, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah, yeah.
It's a great campus too. Honestly, like our rink is right on campus, so it's beautiful for me. Like my class is like a 2 minute walk away. Um, so it's yeah,
Right.
that's been
And
really awesome.
that's where we are today now, right?
We are today. I'm actually we were talking about my last concussion. I just came off.
Hmm.
I was just concussed at the start of this year. Just got hurt in practice. That was actually a less severe hit, but I was out for a longer period of time, just dealing with different issues and whatnot. So I just came back 3 weeks ago. Played 4 games so far, 4 or 5 games. Back into the swing of things now. Loving it again. But yeah, dude, I was done playing hockey for a good couple months. I was done. Like I was I was like, you know what? I'm moving on with my life. Not to say that I haven't not to say that I haven't moved on because I'm going to school and I'm taking that serious. But I'm really
That's
happy
good. That's
that
good. As long as you're
that
not
I
on that
decided to
like
play.
Tua Tagovailoa concussion protocol and coming back in real quick. That's good. It's good to see that your brain is not scrambled eggs.
Thank God. Yeah, no, we definitely took my time. Well, it was funny actually. Like you saw Tua's hit, and like obviously it was pretty severe. Um, and he got hurt around the same time I got hurt, and he came back just before I came back, and I was talking to like my athletic therapist. I'm like, dude, like I'm embarrassed. Like Tua's coming back before me. He's like, dude, do not worry about what Tua's doing. Like you're taking care of yourself. He's like, yeah, fair enough.
He's still making ridiculous head first hits. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, Tua. Yeah, that guy's nuts. So I'm just happy to have Jared Goff.
He's
in my
got to pick
pocket
it up
there.
after last
He's
game. I
pretty
don't know
nasty.
if he can justify 5 interceptions.
And he'll be
Yeah, he'll be fine. It was just an off game. They
he'll
still
be
got the
fine.
win. Doesn't matter. Okay, I have a few extra
Yeah,
questions. I did do some other research. What was the
there you
name
go.
of your first hockey stick?
That is a good one. Oh man. Okay,
I
I
don't know
guess
who I
I know.
asked,
Did
but
you ask Marco about this? No, we didn't. Okay, so when I was like 6 or 7 years old, I had a stick called the Black Beauty. I I actually don't
it
remember the
starts with an
name.
L.
Do you know the name?
Lindsay?
Oh, dude, I don't know, but I can't. Yeah, I named one of them the Black Beauties, and I actually gave one to my good our my good my I've known Marco since I was like 5 or 6. I gifted him one. I think it was Ashley. I don't know if he told you that. I
Okay.
think it was Ashley the one that I gave him. I don't know. I don't know. I think that's where you got it from. I actually don't know, but yeah, I gifted him one. Black Beauty. Yeah, no one knows about the Black Beauty, man. Yeah, that was a
The
good. That was
Black
a good
Beauty.
pick.
We're gonna be clipping that one. Why was it called the Black Beauty? Were you just ripping with it?
No,
Oh.
like that was the name of the brand of the
Oh, okay.
stick. It was the Black Beauty. Yeah, I gotta pull this up. I gotta Google this Black Beauty hockey stick. My dad was like really into. Yeah, it had flames on it, orange flames. It was like made for kids. And my dad did research and was like, "This is this is your stick." I was like, "All right, Black Beauty, dude. I mean, it flames on it. I'm like, this is unreal." I think it was like
Okay.
something to do with the lie or something like that. Yeah, the Black Beauty. No one knows about that. No, like literally, I don't even don't even know who I've spoken to about that. I think I still have a couple at home just laying around. Yeah, it was black with like red and orange flames. That was a sick
That's sick. Just pulling up to
that
Timbits
was a
and that
sick
going
pick.
bar down.
Yeah, dude, literally. So I went from Tibbetts when I was 6, and then I played for the Richmond Hill Stars, and I was ripping around with the Black Beauty.
One more for you. What was your favorite activity at
Yeah.
Camp Coochie Ching?
Camp Coochie. Oh man, dude, you're throwing me way back here. I couldn't even tell you. I don't know. No, Camp Coochie was we would go when I was in primary school. We would go to Camp Coochie, and our small dude, like 6 or 7 kids per grade. We go to Camp Coochie and just buzz around, um, doing like archery and stuff like that. That was a great time. Honestly, the best memories I have from that weren't even like the activities, but like just like spending time with my friends. Like it's the first time you do an away camp and like just getting to know people, like staying in a freaking miserable cabin, but you're with your buddies. So that was pretty special. But, I don't know, favorite activity. The one I
Okay.
remember the most was archery. We used to do archery, and that was pretty fun as a kid. Camp Coochie. Well, you're coming. You're
Did my-
coming. You know your stuff.
Do my research.
This guy didn't mess around. There you go. You hit me with the what's that? The hot wings.
Yeah, it's
I don't know what that show's called.
Too hot? No, that's the
Uh,
Netflix show.
you're hitting me with the Nardwar questions.
You don't even know who my source is. Okay, one more question. Figure I'll ask it anyways. What's your
Look,
favorite
yeah,
activity
yeah.
at Richland Academy?
That was the
Yeah.
school I was talking about, Richland Academy, bro. I remember we used to do like yearly. We used to do speeches, uh, and I remember one year I had like a tutor. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about, and yeah, Richland was like, she was like, oh, like you do, like you're a little sneaky. She thought I was sneaky for some reason. I was just talking to my dad about this actually, and she told me to do a speech on the sneaky things I do. So I did this fucking called Sneaky Things. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous not remembering this, but yeah, I had a speech called Sneaky Things. But I always look forward to doing those speeches. And this year it was I think it was like grade 3. So give me a break if you're tripping me in the comments. um, but yeah, we did sneaky things. I don't even know. It was like some stupid like, oh, like pretend you fall asleep and then get your iPad and go on your iPad and you have a later bedtime. Stupid stuff like that. That was a funny memory. Um,
I already know we're gonna see Marco.
yeah,
We're gonna see Marco in the comments chirping you here.
yeah. Mark, I'll light you up, Marco. All right,
That's good.
just you wait. Bud. Yeah. Did Marco tell you? I can't believe he didn't bring up my what he did to me.
He didn't
My
tell me
brown
about that.
finger. Did he tell you about that? Tell you about this? He's lacking then. Because he's embarrassed. Yeah, I'll see Marco. I'll light you up. So Marco and I met when we were in kindergarten, so junior kindergarten. I don't even know how old I was. But when this happened, I was 6 or 7, and so did you in
Yep.
kindergarten like did you guys go to the bathroom together? I don't know if that's like a universal experience. Like you all go to the bathroom at the same time. We're leaving the bathroom, and Marco wanted the door closed. So we're leaving. I wanted the door open. Okay. And these like these big heavy metal like bathroom doors. I don't know if you're like I don't know exactly what they were, but like big heavy metal
Hmm.
doors, like the ones in hockey rinks, kind of. And I'm like Marco, like if you're gonna close the door, like you're gonna have to close it on my finger. And he's like, all right. So he just closed the door on my finger, and I don't know if you can see, but my pinky finger still
Oh
brown
my
to this
god! Yeah, I
day.
can see that.
Yeah, so it's still brown. That's my memory of Marco. I'll never forget him, and I know he still feels guilty
What? He
about
just ripped the door
it.
closed on your head?
Yeah, honestly, dude, I don't remember. I just this is just like the story that got told to me, and this like I have no memory of it actually happening, but I know that's what happened because like it's just what everyone's told me. I think Marco remembers. I think he does remember closing that thing on my finger, but I don't. I must have been in shock and just like kept it from my brain. But it's a funny story now. Like it doesn't hurt or anything painful, but
Marco, just an
yeah,
absolute menace at 4 years
yeah,
old, 6 years old.
yeah, yeah. Been closing
What a
doors
guy!
on kids' fingers. What are you doing?
All right, man.
Yeah,
I don't
but yeah,
have any.
man.
I don't have any
That's
more sneaky questions for you.
I'll give you another nugget of information. You want to know another little nugget? When I was I'll find it here. When I was 7 years old, my dad posted a clip of me on YouTube, and it got like, hold on, I'll send it to you.
Of you playing hockey?
Cause so my dad used to, yeah, so my dad used to record every single game from when I was like 7 or 6 or 7, yeah, 7, from when I was 7 to like minor midget. He would literally videotape every single game, and for some reason he wanted to post this clip on YouTube, and it actually got like 50,000 views. It's called "How to Deke Through an Entire Hockey Team and Score." Amazing goal by 7-year-old. That's a little, yeah, it's a little nugget for you. And the kids were people were chirping me in the comments, but I think they deleted all the mean ones.
I like how it starts in slow-mo here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude, they were dialed in. And the band is actually my dad's old band back in the day. My dad is a drummer. Yeah, tossed on their music
I'm
there.
watching this right. White jersey.
Yeah, just a terribly edited video. But you know what? Yeah, I don't know why you would put the
I was
slow mo
confused if I had
first.
like my settings changed up or something, but that's good.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't even think it's that nice of a goal. It's just like I got the puck and I like just skated around and
A
put it
little
in
bit
the
of this,
net.
a little bit of that.
I think my parents loved the my celly and the goalie like flopping on the ice. That was their
It's good.
favorite
It's a good
part.
video.
Yeah, I figured I would
52K
toss that
views,
one
so
to
you
you.
already had.
Oh yeah, buddy. That's why I got drafted. Actually, that's why I got drafted to the O, and that's actually why I didn't get
Oh,
drafted to the NHL because I saw that video.
so if that video wasn't there, you'd be right there with
Oh, I'd be playing on a line with Cole Caulfield and
dude.
Nick
We
Suzuki.
need
That's where
another
I'd be.
forward on the line there. So honestly, go right up there.
Yeah, you need a lefty though. You need a lefty.
No, the
Is that
lines
are
are
they
all.
playing together right
Marty St.
now?
Louis is just playing around with all the lines right now, and it's some days they are, some days they aren't. Sometimes some periods they are. Like it's all over the place right now.
What do you think of
I
Michael
I
Pezzetta?
liked him at the beginning of the season, but then I saw him play a few games so far this year, and he's just not. I just don't think he has it. No. What do you think of him?
Not doing it. He's not doing it for you. Buddies with him. He's a good guy. But he's a good guy. No, I don't know him that well, but I trained with him in the summers, and he was actually a really nice guy. Works strong. He's so strong, dude. That guy's probably the strongest guy I've ever seen in the gym. Just unbelievably strong. But yeah, my billets when I was in Gatineau, they were Habs fans, so I'd always talk to them about Pizzetta. But I know a little bit about the Habs, but yeah, I'm a Leaf fan, so I can't speak too much about the Habs right now. Although I am scarred from losing in the first round to you guys. That was terrible. But I was cheering for you guys in the
Dude,
finals. Too bad you
well, we
guys
had Carey
sucked.
Price standing on his head, doing everything he could, and then the team couldn't get it together.
Yeah, I was disgusted. You know who I met the other day?
Yeah,
You know Curtis McElhaney? You remember him? I met Curtis McElhaney's dad. He's a Guelph Griffin alumni. Played for the Guelph Griffins. Super nice guy. Bob McElhaney. And he was showing me, like I met him. I was outside. I was in the rink, the and I was waiting to meet with my coach. And this random guy in a Leafs jacket comes up to me. And goes, "Did you guys just practice?" I go, "Yeah, we did." Like he's like, "Oh, nice, okay." And I'm like, "So like, what are you doing here?" He goes, "Oh, I'm an alumni. I'm just visiting the rink." I'm like, "Oh, cool." And then he starts talking to me about like his son. He's like, "My buddy won the Stanley Cup. He was on the Tampa Bay." And then he shows me a picture of him like drinking out of the cup. I'm like, "Oh, who's your buddy?" Shows me a picture of him and his son. He's like, "My son's Curtis McElhaney." I'm like, "Oh, no way." um, anyways, that was just a random story. Because I was thinking about that because it was the picture from the bubble when Montreal beat or when Tampa beat Montreal. So is Marty in trouble? Are you firing Marty or what?
I was talking about this the other day.
On
With
the pod?
some of my friends. Like if he was just a coach trying to make a name for himself, he'd have been fired games ago. But he's Marty St. Louis. Like he has the resume, he has everything to back it up. So they're giving him chances and chances. But I think,
Well,
I
he doesn't
mean,
have the
he
resume.
he does. Like he was in the NHL for so long. He's played for Team Canada. Like he has the credentials to be a coach.
The coaching
Yeah, I
resume,
know, and
though. He
that's what
doesn't
he's
have the
trying to
coaching
build right
resume.
now. But so far, it's not going too hot. I'd give him like 2 more months. But I know the people of Montreal like him because he's French. So
But like, is the coaching the problem or is the team
it's
the
a bit of
problem?
both. I mean, he keeps switching everything up. He's switching the lines up pretty much every night, so they don't even have a chance to develop with each other. They just can't get it going.
Dude, I was surprised that they didn't name Gallagher the captain. What
No,
do you
I,
think
I
about
like the
that?
move for Suzuki because I mean he's one of the most talented young guys. And sorry,
I know it was a few years ago. I said I know it was a few years ago now, but like I thought it was going to be
I
Gallagher.
guess looking back, yeah, it probably would have been Gallagher, but I understand the move for Suzuki because you want to have like the Habs are going to be rebuilding. We have all the young guys, so he's like the leader of the young guys. I understand the mindset behind that.
What are your
3 years,
expectations for the next
God.
3 years?
Okay,
3 years. Next season and the season after.
we're making the playoffs next year, 100%, because we have that goalie in the NCAA right now too, who's going to be coming as well. He's
Yeah.
been lighting it up. Yeah, I think we have a serious
Okay.
shot at the playoffs next year and the year following. Most likely in 2 years once they've had like a year to get tenured into the league.
So you
Dude,
think
the
the problem is
goaltending right
goaltending
now
right now?
is atrocious, and I think you can agree. Like, what is going on with the Habs goalies?
I haven't been watching them too much, so but it is definitely hard going from Carey Price to
Samuel
who is it?
Montembeau
Sam
and
Montembeau.
Caden Primo.
Is it Montembeau still?
I don't know if you saw the game yesterday, but it
Yeah,
was
Caden
against
Primo.
Buffalo, and Caden Primo let
But
in like four. It was 7-5 Montreal, so it's already a high scoring game.
I didn't see the game. I didn't see the game, but I saw Cole Caulfield had 2 goals, so I was pretty fired up because he's on my fantasy team.
I know.
But
I
I
was
didn't watch the game. But this is what I was chirping. I was chirping you guys in the comments one time, and I don't think you understood it because I was chirping you guys for saying "we." I
yes, yes, yes.
actually don't care. I think it's funny, but I was chirping you guys. So you're like,
Oh,
"We're gonna be
oh,
so
I
good."
see.
I'm like,
That's what
"Oh,
you were saying.
we? Who's we?"
Okay, make sure the next one doesn't go over my head.
I was just kidding. I'll keep commenting. I'll keep commenting. And if you're watching this, like and comment on the Frozen Forum,
Yes,
Instagram,
yes. Wait,
YouTube,
I
and
gotta ask you
TikTok.
something about those Leafs.
Support.
All of a sudden, with Austin Matthews
Sure.
gone, they're on a heater. They're winning. They don't look bad. They look phenomenal right now.
I was at the game last Tuesday against the Bruins. I was pretty fired up because we hadn't beat them at home for a while. So we're in the regular season. I don't know, man. Austin's just got to pick it up. He's going to come in. They're going to put him back on the first power. Like you're never not going to do that. But hopefully, honestly, hopefully he's the boost they need to just keep going. Because I think like you keep playing well. I don't think adding a Rocket Richard player is going to make it worse. I really don't. I think it just right time for the team to
It's
click.
fair. I
What
mean,
do you think?
it's like whenever Matthews.
What do you think about the people saying that keep him out? What do you think about people saying they should keep him off the first power?
I understand the thing about the team clicking. Like whenever Austin Matthews is on the ice, like all the attention's on him, and everyone tries to feed him the puck, right? Which can lead to some
Fair.
breaking down in the offensive end. But
I guess it changes momentum and stuff like that, especially when you're trying to force a guy. But I don't know. He's nasty. So I'm looking forward to when he's back, and
yeah, 100.
then they'll
percent
be firing on
I
all
if
cylinders. Hopefully, we can win more than one playoff series. Now I'm saying we, so I'll get ripped in the comments. Hopefully, they can win more than one playoff series. But my favorite memory, I was in Montreal actually when the Leafs beat Tampa in the first round, and I was losing it. I loved it. I was so fired up. That
mhm.
was an incredible feeling. So hopefully that happens a few more times in my lifetime, and hopefully it happens 4 times in a year.
Well,
That
hopefully it
would be
happens at
nice.
least. Honestly, I could see the Leafs doing it once this year. I don't know about twice.
This is the thing I learned about the Leafs, man. I always think they can do it. I always think they can do it. I desensitize myself, so I can't torture myself to watch every single regular season game anymore. It's just not feasible. Like I will just drive myself crazy. But in the playoffs, I watch every single game. And in the playoffs, they'll do well. Either this is the thing. They'll do well, and you're like, fuck yeah, they're going to the finals. Or they'll do shit, and then they'll come back, give you hope, and then they'll still lose. So it's never easy. It's never easy being a Leaf fan, but I would way rather be a Leaf fan than a Habs fan for sure because yeah,
Just give us a year. Just give us a year, and then you'll see. We'll be walking all over you guys.
you just love chirping the Leafs, you know. Like I always hear it from Habs fans. Why are you a Habs fan even? I don't even get it.
Grew up as a defenseman, right? And PK Subban was like the defenseman in the league he was like the only brown guy in the league. And that was
Right.
just like me playing hockey. So it was like, looked up to him, and he was on the Habs, so I picked the Habs.
Fair enough. I thought because usually it's some BS reason. That's actually a good reason. Usually it's like oh, like I just hate the Leafs, and it's like, all right, come on, you just trying to be contrary. Oh, okay, yeah, that's respectful.
Well, my family are all Leaf fans, so
okay.
I never really loved them.
You're a bit contrarian, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Keep pivoted. Listen, honestly, if the Habs have success, I'm happy because I just want to see a freaking Canadian team win. If the Oilers won, I would have been fired up. Like it's getting a bit ridiculous at this point.
Jets, Oilers when McDavid gets back.
Yeah, I've got McDavid in my fantasy team, and I'm hating it. I've got McDavid and Hyman, and they're just doing awful. So he's got to wake up. My team name is Connor's Revenge Tour because I figured he was just going to go on a tear, and he's just been absolutely brutal so far. Brutal for McDavid, mind you. He's done $1,000,000% more than I'll ever do with my career. $1,000,000,000% more than I'll ever do with my career, but. As a fantasy manager, I'm hoping for more.
He's just sitting on your IR.
Literally.
Yeah,
man. Thanks so much for having me, bro. And I'll keep supporting. Let the people know. I'll keep sharing and like and subscribe.
Thanks for the time.
Guys.
I really appreciate it. I know it's busy at school. So yeah. Exactly what he said.
Yeah. Anything I can do to help you out,
appreciate it.
You let me know.
So if you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You'll get notified of all videos, all shorts, wherever you consume your podcast content, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts. Listen to us there. Make sure you give us a 5-star rating. It really helps us grow there. And follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I think that's all. Appreciate you guys listening. We do have a Twitter. Yes, follow us on Twitter as well. X, we're also verified on X, so make sure you see us there. The Frozen Forum Podcast. Yeah. And that's all, guys. For those of you that made it to this point in the episode, thank you very much. We'll catch you guys on the next episode. Thank you, Jonah, for coming. Yeah.
Thanks for having me, bro.
On your screen, do you see a stop recording button or no?
Sweet.
Okay, I will